Dinner with the Diller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Dinner with the Diller, the podcast. I'm your host, Art Diller, and to my left, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Dang, why I gotta be a myth though?
Cause man, some people don't know you exist.
Ain't no myth to this.
Man,
What
some
I
people
do?
don't know. They be like, "Who did that?" Bizzo did that. Oh, for real? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bizzo Beats to the podcast. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? What's popping, my G?
You all right?
Good to see you, man. Happy
You too, man.
holidays.
That's all right, man. That's
all that
right.
good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So, for those who don't know, Bizzo is my friend first,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well
yeah,
as
yeah.
producer, engineer. 90% of what you hear me create, he's the man behind the sounds. So I just felt like, you know what? I have not done an episode with my guy, which doesn't make sense with all of the experience and catalog that he has, definitely coming out of Augusta, Georgia. So Biz, give the people background on who you are, where you from, what got you, you know what I'm saying? Who's the man behind Bizzo Beats?
Bizzo Beats. Okay, I'm a engineer, DJ, producer. I come from Philadelphia. I came down here with another guy that's another legend, Pimp Zilla.
One time for Zilla.
We came down, started Operation Kush, right there in the heart of the hood of Augusta on Curry Street. That was 2006, and I've been here just doing my thing ever since.
Yeah. So you said producer, engineer,
DJ.
and DJ. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It's hard to like put one in front of the other because like depending on the moment, I might be DJing more than I'm engineering, or I might be making beats more than I'm recording people. So all three. Yeah.
So what drew you into that? What made you fall in love with the music like that?
Well, when I was a kid, that's when hip hop got introduced.
Yeah.
So like, I was legit maybe like 8 or 9 when hip hop first started.
Gotcha.
So of course, I was enamored by the culture and the art form. And my brother, who's 5 years older than me, he was a DJ. He started off DJing. So I would go in the basement and see his turntables and his records, and I was like, yo, I gotta do this. That's incredible. I have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what started. And then also my brother, like, as he grew in his DJ profession, he started buying like musical equipment, keyboards, drum machines, because as, hip hop was growing and people weren't just DJing and scratching and using break beats, people start like making their own beats.
Yeah.
So he bought all that equipment and he would just pass it off to me.
Gotcha.
And I was a young boy absorbing it like a sponge, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I learned how to make beats when I was like 13 or 14.
Oh, so you've been doing it for a minute.
Long time.
Yeah, I ain't know that part.
Long
Didn't
time.
know that part. So, let's break down a couple things. So, I met you first as a producer.
Right.
Well, actually, producer engineer.
Producer engineer, yeah.
Because matter of fact, I'm gonna tell the story. It's the craziest thing in the world. I was going to school in Atlanta, but I was selling like graphics and mixtapes and all kind of stuff on the weekends here. And I think Yellow Boy.
Yellow Boy, South Boy, they're twins.
Yeah, the twins. They let me hear something that they did, and I'm like, yo, who did that? It was like, oh man, we record with Bizzo. So I'm like, okay, when I come in town, I want to check him out. So they had a session. They was like, man, pull up. So they gave me the address. I pulled up. I'm like, okay, we in the hood, like for real. So
Yeah, we in the hood.
So I walk in, and it's like a big open room with like the boards over here in the corner on the table, and the mic hanging from the ceiling. And I'm like,
Well, hold on. Tell them the room was a bedroom.
Yeah, it was
this
a
was my
bedroom.
bedroom.
right, it was the bedroom.
So it was a bed in that bitch too. Like,
Which be honest, if you've been recording and doing music or whatever, like in the underground and independent, a lot of cats, that's where they started at.
the bedroom
But
producers,
the
right?
thing that
Yeah.
was crazy to me was the quality of the sound coming out of a room with absolutely no type of soundproofing or no vocal booth. Like we all in the same room, and like it used to be so clean. And I was like, how? I done been to studios where they have the finest equipment.
like the one we're in right now.
Right. But in those other guys' spot, that don't sound like that. So I was amazed. So from that, I was drawn in from there. I was like, yeah, that was dope. So you touched down here, you and Pimp Zilla. You started production. What was like the first project you worked on?
Okay, the craziest story. Like, All right, the first day I was here, like I got here at night, so I woke up the next morning. The first person that came to my studio was rest in peace Damiano, and I think he was a part of DSGB.
Yeah, the real
So,
DSGB.
He came to the studio, and of course, I didn't really have any knowledge of anybody and what was going on in the city outside of Pimpzilla, because he was telling me, he was like, yo, it's a lot of people here who rap, so you got to come, and you definitely can make some bread, so come on down here. So, like I said, first person was Damiano, and I was like impressed by the way he rapped. I was like, yo, I like Augusta. Because if everybody here rap like this dude, oh yeah, we about to do something. We about to make some noise.
Yeah.
So, and then, man, okay, so he came, he just listened to beats, he took one beat with him, and he left. So then, like, maybe a couple hours later, the phone rings, and it's this guy named Seaball. And he's like a younger dude. He's like the same age as my son. So he comes to the studio, and he's like, oh, man, I like all these beats. How much you want for them? So I was like, I'm not going to tell y'all what I said. Well, I told him the price, and he was like, okay, bet. I want 3 of them. So I'm like, oh, shit, okay, let's go. Gave him the 3 beats. An hour later, he called me. Yo, I got the songs written already for them 3 songs. Can I come record them? So he came. I had never heard him record, so I didn't know what to expect. But he dropped all 3 in an hour. And then he was like, yo, play some more beats. I'm going to cop some more. I was like, yo, again, I love Augusta. Because this is my first day being here.
Yeah. That's dope. Ball used to come freestyle up there at the record shop.
Okay.
So that ain't far-fetched to me, because he slick with it, and it's just, some people just got it like that, where they go in like that. But it's dope that you got introduced to those 2 artists in the beginning, even though, you know what I'm saying, they're from Augusta, but got 2 totally different sounds.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the part I kind of missed about Augusta.
I felt like Damiano was definitely more educated in hip-hop, whereas Ball was more just like a storytelling street rapper.
Yeah. And I missed that, because back then, you knew when you heard people's music. That's the crazy part. You produced a lot of these artists, but when you heard every artist, nobody sounded the same. Like, it was never a situation where you heard an album, a Hot Shot album, or Blue Marley, or Pimp, or whoever, and it all had totally different sounds. But that was, I have to give you a credit on that. I just thought about that.
Yeah. And I was doing it unconsciously because, again, like, I call myself a beat maker or producer, right? And sometimes, like, also being a DJ, the main thing is, like, I'm listening to all of these different flavors of music all the time, because when I got a DJ at clubs, sometimes I might have to play this kind of hip-hop or this kind of hip-hop or R&B. So I was being, I hear a bunch of stuff, so I'm always interjecting these ideas into the music that I'm making. So that's why it's kind of like it sounds different so much. Like, I'm not, like, in the same lane with all my beats.
Yeah.
And I say that to anybody who wants to be like a producer / beat maker, like maybe start a career as a DJ, because that'll give you the exposure to a lot of different sounds, and you'll also get to see what people like, because you'll be in front of them playing the music, so you can actually get the vibe off of how they feel off certain rhythms, certain sounds, and you can go back to using that in your production.
Yeah. Very, very, very good knowledge. Very dope, very dope. So, producing, you DJ as well too.
Now, I didn't start DJing here until maybe I was probably here for about 8 years before I started DJing here.
Oh, okay.
Like, now, I was kind of like what they would call like a ghost DJ. Because when I first got here, Pimpzilla was DJing at a club called The Soundtrack, right? And, like, just through our correspondence before I moved here, he would be telling me that he was doing it, and I didn't take him serious, because this is my man, like, so I knew he wasn't a DJ. Like, I was like, you DJing somewhere? What? Okay, so when I get here, he's like, yo, listen to this music. So he's playing like Jeezy, Gucci Man, Plies, Rick Ross, all of this kind of music. And he's like, yo, can you make a mix for me? So I was like, yeah, I don't mind, because I had bought some turntables, some digital turntables, just so I could do scratches on records. So I had them with me, but I wasn't using them to go DJ parties or anything. So he's like, yo, can you make me a mix? So I made like a 2-hour mix for him. He's like, he takes that to the club, and now this is what he uses to DJ every weekend. He's just talking in between the songs, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, he became one of the most popular DJs in the city. So it was really me, but it was him. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to Pimpzilla. He gonna keep him a hustler. I tell you that for sure.
yeah.
Definitely. So you DJ, engineer, produce. Which one is your favorite?
The root is the DJing, because like that's what I did first, right?
Okay.
And like that is what I always go back to inspire me to do the other two things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's the reason why I started DJing again. I was here, and you know I'm serving. Of course, I'm listening to what people are saying about DJs around here, because the artists are talking to me about the DJs, and I'm listening to the DJs DJ, and I'm kind of like, you know, I'm from Philadelphia, and I grew up during the era where like DJing was very important to hip hop culture, and everyone was trying to be the best that they could be, not just trying to do like the job, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when I was hearing the DJs, I was like, "There's nobody scratching. I don't hear any like basic DJ techniques. All I hear is people just being like music selectors or curators." And that's I kind of feel like, I don't know, Pimpzilla kind of made that like
Yeah.
acceptable, because he couldn't DJ. So long story short, I started DJing again, and I was like, wow, I don't got to carry records. I don't got to do none of this stuff. I can start using the computer to DJ. And yeah, then the person that I was dating at the moment was like, yeah, you should try to go get a job at a club. So the first place I DJ'd at here was a place called First Round Sports Bar.
Right.
And
Sounds familiar.
and I was DJing EDM music.
Were you prepared for that?
Yeah, because like again, like I said, I'm a DJ, producer, engineer, so I'm listening to all forms of music, and this was a form of music that was on the rise at the moment. Like it was just coming up, and I was like, yo, I wanna try to DJ this music and see what it's like in the club, because like I'm watching videos of people like in Vegas and in California and New York, and they're like rocking out to this music. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. So that's what made me get back into it.
So can I have a petty moment?
Petty moment. Well, every week is a petty moment when someone comes up to me and they do this. They go, hey, play this. I'm like, bruh, what?
In the middle of your job while you working.
Listen, I get this at least 30 times a night, and I'm like, bro, no, I'm not doing it.
But no, my petty moment is, we got the verses coming up in a minute.
Oh, the verses.
Bizzo Beats versus Greg Nice.
Now, I'm going to talk trash and crap, because, again, I grew up in the era where, like, when you say, like, battle or versus, it's like you against another person.
Right.
And you have to show that you're better than that person.
So you ready for the battle?
Oh, man. Okay, the last time I felt like Greg might have been a tiny bit unprepared. But he did something that pissed me off.
What
pissed me off, Greg.
What you mean?
Towards the end of the battle, he says, yeah, well, if I had Michael Jackson, I would do this. And I was like, oh, okay. This is what we doing. So, yeah, I'm coming to see you, Greg.
So, Greg,
Bad Boy versus So Def. It's the East versus the North. Versus the South.
Oh God, here we go. Nah, I mean that was dope. That was at the Arsenal Heart event, which I've been wanting to do that a versus like that for a minute, because I felt like people would embrace it, and it was crazy because Greg coming from out of town.
Yeah.
So when it got time on the schedule, everybody started coming in the building. Biz that's setting up. I'm like, where's Greg? I'm calling Greg. He like, man, I got stuck in traffic. I'm on the way, blase, blase. So I meet him to get loaded in. I'm like, bro, I got a whole room full of people waiting on. He like, man, whatever. We come in the door, been in the corner, and the whole crowd does a standing ovation. He was like, you online? I'm like, bro, I told you, what you mean? And we promoted that for like 2 days, and
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
turnout was just dope. So, I appreciate that. Ready for that to come
And
back.
again, also, it's all in the spirit of fun. So,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we had a lot of fun that day.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next one. Y'all got to show up for that
Yeah,
because
we're
that's
gonna
going to
be
be
at,
nice.
It's gonna be at the Mahogany Lounge, January 22nd. Man, the Treehouse, get your tickets. With all that being said, so let me give me your top 5 producers.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go against the grain of what most people say, right?
Okay.
Because most people go with Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre. But again, I started in the very, very beginning of hip hop. So I have a different knowledge of the history of producers in hip hop. So my number one is Larry Smith. People are going to say, who is Larry Smith? Larry Smith produced like most of Run DMC stuff.
Right.
Curtis Blow. So this is like the early stages of hip hop. And this dude was like a genius because he changed the sound of hip hop. Because before Larry Smith came along, it was mainly bands playing the songs, playing like samples that we would DJ and scratch on. They would play those over, and that's what the MCs would rap to. And Larry Smith came in, and he kind of switched that whole thing up, where he added like a new sound, which was called the Lindrum. So if you listen to the song Run DMC, Sucker MCs, that's the sound I'm talking about. So he's my number one. Number 2, Marley Marl, because he came in after Larry Smith and switched the sound up again. Because now, all of us, much respect to James Brown, because this is the home of James Brown Augusta. Most of us as producers and DJs were using James Brown breaks.
Yeah.
And the funky drummer kind of was like the heartbeat of hip hop at the moment, because it was like everyone was taking pieces from the drum loop that's in that song and making songs out of it. So Marley Marl came along and just changed that completely. Like where he was like not using the loops, he was taking out the individual drum sounds and making new patterns to it. So yeah, he's my number 2. Number 3 is a guy that people don't really know because he's not like popular or famous like, Dr. Dre and Swizz Beats and Timbaland, but this guy's name is Rich Harrison. He's from DC. He produced Beyonce's Crazy in Love. He produced like the whole A. Marie album. He produced stuff for Jennifer Lopez. Like this dude, and he came in again. Like I'm a fan of producers who change the sound. Like they come in and it's like, oh man, it's like a whole new vibe. Like what is this? But it's derivative of something that has existed for forever. So like Rich Harrison's sound was kind of derivative of the go-go sound. He was from DC, so he was using a lot of like rhythmic drums in his music, and he was still sampling too. And he was working with R&B artists, not hip hop people. So it was like, wow, this dude is killing it. So that's my number 3. Number 4, myself, Bizzo Beats. Number 5, myself, Bizzo Beats.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's my top 5.
Yeah, I didn't know Rich Harrison was from DC though, but
Yeah.
I remember that. And it was dope because back then, almost like as an artist, when they came in, they would come in with their own production. You know what I'm saying? Versus let me call so-and-so and get a beat, so-and-so and get a beat, whatever the case may be. All right, that's what's up. So we at the end of the year.
End of 2022. Starting 2023.
Yeah. So give me a highlight in hip hop for this year for you.
Wow. Okay. For me, myself, man, it's just a celebration of the fact that I've been here in Augusta since 2006. And Augusta has taken care of me. Like, I never had to work a job. I never been to jail. I never did anything illegal for money. it's been the music and it's been Augusta that's really supported me. So 2022 was again just a celebration year of the fact that wow, man, I've been doing this 16 years in this city, man. Sweet 16.
16 years in this city. So you ain't had no moments, no albums, nothing dropped this year that was like, oh, that's crazy.
That from people here in Augusta?
Just in hip hop in general.
I mean, every year is crazy for me because me and this guy here, we drop one every year, and it's classic every single time.
Yeah.
It's classic. I mean, and that's the one thing that like, that's probably what grew, like, kept our friendship or made it grow because like he has a real appreciation for the music, and he's like I have the most fun working with Dorian than I have with any artist because of the fact that like. He picks the beats that I'm like, yo, these are the beats that I like making. Because as a producer, so sometimes we have to do things that not saying I don't enjoy it. It's just it might not be my vibe because like I told you, I've been doing this since like the first day hip hop been going. So hip hop right now is 50 years old. So y'all could just imagine how old I am. So,
got you.
And hip hop has evolved, and it's always been, as hip hop grows, it's always been the sound of the youth. So, at the moment, I love the job, but sometimes I don't always, love the music that I'm doing. So,
man.
yeah. Every year, like I said, me and him, we go in. I don't know, what we got, like 6 albums maybe?
Yeah, it's a lot of albums. It's a lot of music.
At least.
It's some and then group projects and
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's my highlight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm waiting for us to do like the the concert where we just go back and go through all the years of hits that we made.
See, don't do that because then you're gonna make me start thinking I'm gonna try to book a venue
Take it
tomorrow.
all the way back.
I'm gonna mess around to book the venue tomorrow and get dates and everything. Why you playing? I think I'm gonna work on that for real.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of music, bro. You've been doing it for a long time.
Oh yeah. I enjoy it at this point. You know what I mean? Just for me, just if I get an idea and it comes to me, and I ain't gonna front. Like the last session we did, I kind of was in a funky little space where it was just kind of like I wasn't really inspired.
Wait, you talking about the very last session we
The
did?
very last session we did when we finished, we did the Winter Circle record.
I was going to say that was the inspirational session, though.
I mean, yeah, but coming in the studio then, it was just kind of like I got these records, I need hooks, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Stuff like that. So, but nah, you like it's like every time I ain't gonna say every time, but sometimes I get those moments when I come in and then you played a bunch of beats and it was funny when you played and I can't wait for this record to be finished because I'm working on it now. But you played a record and April Sampay looked at me and was like, "That sounds just like you," and I was like, "You're right," and it struck a nerve and it creates a whole nother. It gives you more inspiration to say, you know what, keep cooking. Because at this point, we doing it because we love it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the honest truth. Who's your favorite DJ? Like, who's the DJ that made you like? I know your brother.
It's like, okay, now the DJ thing, I can't really say that I have like one favorite because, of course, like you just said, my brother is my original inspiration, right? So then if we were to go for my brother, like the first DJ who was doing it like on a professional scale that inspired me was Grandmaster Flash.
Gotcha.
My brother took me to a movie called Wild Style. I was like a young buck. I wasn't allowed to ride a train by myself. My brother was like, "I'm gonna take you to the movies so we can go see this movie." And we saw Grandmaster Flash like actually DJing on the movie screen, and he became like my favorite DJ. Okay, so now we progress. We get further in, and like I grew up with the guys like Jazzy Jeff, DJ Cash Money. Like we all, were going to high school at the same time. I didn't go to the same high schools as these guys, but we were all in high school at the same time. And in Philly, we would have these Friday night high school parties at a place called Central High School. And I went and I saw Jazzy Jeff perform, and it blew my mind because he took what Grandmaster Flash was doing to like a whole nother level. And of course that inspired me to want to get better at what I was doing and get closer to the talent level that he was on. So Jazzy Jeff became my favorite DJ. And then I got into DJ battling, which is, two guys, they get 5 minutes to just go ham and show off all their talents. And I came across a guy's name was DJ Rock Raider. And this dude was like super incredible. Like he was taking off his clothes, he was picking the turntables up, he was stacking them on top of each other, and still being able to do all the things that I was doing just with the turntable straight on the table. So he became my inspiration. But right now, my favorite DJ is DJ Jazzy Jeff again because he's one of the few DJs who has been able to do it for as long as he's been doing it and still remain relevant and not lose the culture of what he was doing. So, right now, my favorite DJ is Jazzy Jeff. Yep.
Gotcha.
And he's from Philly, so. It's the home of the best DJs, of course.
Man. Greg, you heard that, bro.
Yeah.
He's throwing shots. So
we inspired the nation.
Greg, you heard that, bro. I need you to be ready for this verses. If a young artist came to you and said, Bizzo Beats, I want to get out here and do music, what do I need to do?
Oh, wow. Okay. In present times, like in 2023, my first suggestion is to get a social media, right? And become entertaining outside of being an artist / a musician. Because social media, I feel like, is the quickest and easiest way to get the attention of a fan base. But unfortunately, they're not going to become your fan just off listening to your music.
Right.
So they want to know that you're can be an entertaining personality outside of your music, because I feel like that's kind of what social media is. It's just you showing your own personality. So that's the first thing I would suggest. And once you get that fan base just from that, then you take whatever elements that you use to gain these fans and put that into your music.
Yep.
And then share your music. But I would also tell you right now that don't expect to make any money off your music. That's why I'm telling you to be an entertaining personality so that you can make money off your entertaining personality.
That's great advice. Very great advice. Because a lot of people don't understand that you, right now where we at, because of the climate, all the other things that exist in your community as far as your music goes, those things will hold more value. A T-shirt or,
Way
content.
more, because we've gotten to a point in our society where, and we all wanted this. Like, we all wanted this from the beginning. I remember being a kid. Everybody wanted free music, and now we got free music.
Yeah. So now you got to sell something else now instead of that.
Right.
Yep.
But it's possible. Like, you can.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely have a very successful career being a musician. Yeah.
LaRussell is killing it.
He has broken the mold in terms of how to grow something from grassroots.
Yep. Definitely killing it. I definitely pay attention to him pretty much.
But that's just from him, like, experimenting with ideas on how to be entertaining outside of just sharing songs on YouTube or sharing songs on social media.
Yep.
Like, you got to do something else that's going to entertain the people.
Yep. Anything you want to leave? You want to tell the people?
2023, holla at your boy. You know I got them slaps. I got them stupid slaps.
Yeah, if you don't buy them, I'm going to buy
If
them.
you need a DJ, I'm available. I'm getting old where I'm trying to transition away from, like, the nightclub scene. But if you need a DJ, I'm available.
Yep.
I got it. And the studio's always open. It's 24 hours. Holla at your boy.
Well, man, I appreciate you chopping it up with me. This is a great way to end the year with a dope pod. I think this is really dope. So, we got new music coming, new singles coming.
Definitely. A lot of new music coming for y'all.
Yeah.
Once again, make sure y'all show up to that battle, too.
Yeah.
Mahogany Lounge, January 22nd, right?
Yep. January 22nd, Humanity House. Bizzo Beats versus Greg Nice, as well as we also got poetry.
Yeah, we
live
got a
music,
plethora of entertainment for
It's a
y'all.
lot of entertainment. It's really a lot going on that night, so you definitely don't want to miss that. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate you, my guy.
No doubt. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings to everybody in 2023.
Yep.